This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by All Star Vacation Homes. And if you're looking for a great value, a great place to stay with your family, and don't want to pay a whole lot of money, All Star Vacation Homes is the great opportunity for you because they've got wonderfully decorated houses that have lots of great amenities like private pool, full-size kitchen, themed bedrooms, movie rooms, game rooms. Did I mention the private pool? And if I did, it's worth mentioning twice because that's how cool it is. Check them out right now. Go to www.allstarvacationhomes.com.
Bringing the world to your world, this is Walt Disney World Today. Here are Mike Scopa, Len Testa, Mike Newell, and your host, Matt Hochberg.
It's Friday, February 25th, 2011, and this is episode 843 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. And Mike, Wednesday's show is a little bit delayed because somebody forgot to edit the show because he was busy playing Counter-Strike. I'm not going to name names, but that person knows that what they did was right at the time but wrong in the long run.
Since I still play on my Atari 2600, it can't be me.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for alleears.net. Welcome, Mike.
The faster you turn it, the faster it spins.
The teacups.
Is there like a spiel that says that?
Who says that quote? Is it the Dormouse on teacups?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, on today's show, we're actually going to continue a series of episodes that we started way back in 2007 on episode 301. We figured after 4 years, it was time to go to the next episode. And back on episode 301, we had an episode called Cheap Epcot, where we talked about things that are free and cheap to do in Epcot. You can go listen to that episode. I think most of what we mentioned there probably still holds up. But today, we're going to talk about the Magic Kingdom and what are some cheap or free or just good value things to do in the Magic Kingdom. And I figured I'd get things started over here. And, there's something that that came to mind instantly was the Harmony Barbershop on Main Street, USA. And this is really kind of almost a hidden treasure. A lot of people know about it, I think, that listen to the show. But even so, if you don't know about it, it's a real working barbershop in the Magic Kingdom. The price has gone up over the years, but I still think it's not a bad value. I mean, it's $19 for an adult, $15 for kids 12 and under. And they do a lot of fun things here. A lot of people like to have their kids get their first haircut here. And it doesn't really matter why you get a haircut, but I think it's a neat option. Not bad, $20 for a haircut. I mean, I think, you guys know if you go to, any place really, that's about what you're going to get for a haircut anyway. In the real world, might as well get it in the Magic Kingdom and be able to have some other options. They have some other options like beard and mustache trims, but, I like it quite a bit. I think it's a good value and something that is a lot of fun to take advantage of and not going to break the bank either.
And you get a show, right? Don't they put on a little show?
Yeah, they do, I believe. Scopa, did you get your haircut there not too long ago?
Yeah, I've gotten about 4 or 5 haircuts there, but the one that I remember the most is I was getting a haircut and the Dapper Dans came in, and they came around my chair and they were singing. And the neat thing about it was that besides the 4 Dapper Dans, there were 2 Dapper Dolls. So I had 6 people singing while my hair was getting cut.
How cool is that?
Not bad.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nice little fun thing to do. And again, not going to break the bank, so that's why I like it. What's one that comes to your mind, Scopa, for free or cheap things to do in the Magic Kingdom?
Well, it comes down to the category of kind of cheap and kind of fun to do. And it's a little nostalgic because it's been around for a long time, and that's the Frontierland Shooting Gallery. It's not too bad. It's not too expensive. It's kind of fun. I think it's one of those places in the Magic Kingdom that has never changed over the last 40 years, and it's pretty cool, pretty neat, and it's something to do that I like to do once in a while. I don't do it every time I'm in the Magic Kingdom, but it's something really good to do. And the nice thing about it is that for the most part, I don't think it's that crowded.
Yeah, it's hardly ever crowded. I think the biggest crowd I ever saw was when we had a meet there for Reunion 2010, but it's $1. At least it was during Reunion for I think it's about 30 shots. There is a timer on it that we learned during Reunion, but it's a lot of fun. And for $1, you can't go wrong with that, I think.
No.
I like that quite a bit. If Len was here, Len's in Disneyland, by the way. But if he was here, he would tell you about something that he's done quite a bit. That's Aunt Polly's paintbrushes on Tom Sawyer's Island. Mm-hmm. And evidently, I had not known about this. Len told us about this not too long ago. If you're on Tom Sawyer's Island, usually this happens more towards the morning when the park first opens. But cast members actually put paintbrushes all around the island, and if you find one, you pick one up. It'll be laying around. You just literally pick it up and you bring it to a cast member, and they'll reward you usually with a fast pass or maybe even a voucher for a second. Usually just a fast pass for like one of the rides like Splash Mountain or Big Thunder. But it's still pretty cool. It's free, and if you go over there, you can collect a bunch of them. You know, something fun to do. A and B, you get a cool fast pass for free. So that's something he really likes, and something that I haven't done personally yet, but it definitely sounds like something that would be a lot of fun to try out. What about you, Newell? Something free or cheap in the Magic Kingdom?
Well, it's not free, but it's cheap and it's kind of fun. In Adventureland, right where the queue begins for the Jungle Cruise, is a little area where you can do remote control boats.
What's the name of that? Do you remember what the name of this?
The remote control boat land. What was it called?
I don't know. I think it was Jungle. Shrunken Ned's, right?
Shrunken Ned's Junior Jungle Boats.
Yeah. Oh, Jungle Jim's was an old restaurant that was in near Disney World. Never mind.
That's always a lot of fun. I mean, I remember back in the day they had these. They used to have these, I think. Oh, maybe Mike, you might remember over in, I want to say where the marketplace is, or downtown Disney. It used to be called the Village Marketplace.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, back in the early '80s, there was also another. I thought there was another set of these and the same kind of boats and same idea. That's a lot of fun.
Speaking of the Disney Marketplace, my in-laws were in town the other day, and my mother-in-law says, we're going to go. We were told her we're going to go eat at Disney. I forget what restaurant. Doesn't really matter. But she goes, "Oh, was that over by the Disney Marketplace?"
Yeah. I still call it.
My wife and I laughed. It hasn't been called that in like 20 years now.
I still call it the marketplace all the time.
Yeah.
Just out of habit. Nothing.
Here's one that I talking a little bit about food with great value. I love the value of the of Pecos Bills in Frontierland because you have the entrees over there, which are okay in terms of price, but the Fixins bar is, I think,
yes,
I would say it's among the best, but I really do think it's probably the best Fixins bar in Walt Disney World because there's so many great options. You got the lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, great, but they give you not hot, but warm sautéed mushrooms, sauerkraut, salsa. It's really great. I love it because I love to be able to just pile on as much of those veggies as I can onto it. And of course, you can also make the your own little side salad there. If you, regardless of what you get, you can always just get an extra plate. Make a little salad for yourself, and it's a nice little option over there. And they kept it up. A lot of the other Fixins bars have disappeared from the parks, unfortunately. But this one has remained, and it's a huge hit. I really love it. Yeah,
if you get the taco salad, really all you're getting is the shell with the beef salad. But if you load up with everything that's at the Fixins bar, oh man, you can have a really good meal there.
Yeah, I love it. Whenever I eat there, I get the taco salad. I load it up, I bring it back to the table, and my wife just looks at me and shakes her head because she's like, "How much did you put on there?" Now, here's one, Mike Scope, that you might be able to help us out with because I know you know a lot about this. There's this thing called the Kiskin Night, and a lot of our listeners may actually know about it, but a lot of them probably have heard about it and not quite sure what it is. And this is something that's free that a lot of people just totally don't even think about seeing. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about what the Kiskin Night is?
Well, they don't do it every night. But it's the sign-off for the Magic Kingdom, and it usually happens approximately 20 to 30 minutes after the last note is sounded in Wishes. There's the Linda Ronstadt song and all that, and the castle after Wishes goes to sleep, and everybody starts leaving the Magic Kingdom, and about 20 minutes to about a half an hour after the Wishes nighttime spectacular finishes, all of a sudden the castle comes alive, and the whole Main Street area is just filled with this song, music, and everything. And a voice comes over the PA system and says, "Thank you everyone for being here. we wish to, thank you. And then there's the whole spiel that's changed over the years. But basically it's saying, drive home safely and come back to see us again. And the big thing that is kind of cool is that at the very end of the Kiss Goodnight, there is a Tinkerbell sound, and there are these projectors at the base of the castle at the moat, and they call them R2D2s because they look like R2D2. And what they have is they have this special effect, and it looks like a veil is thrown over the castle. In other words, we're covering the castle. It's nighttime. Good night. So that's something that if you've never seen it before, it's pretty cool. It's something that I've seen up close. I've seen at the base. The very first time I saw it, I can remember being there with my family, and I said, "There's something that I know that's going to happen, but I don't know when." And we're walking out. I'm trying to drag my heels so that I don't have to go. And it was right near the Main Street Cinema that, all of a sudden we heard music, and I turned around and the castle was alive. And that was like 1992. So I think it's been going on. For about 15 or 18 years, something like that.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, not bad. What are some snacks that you guys think are good values in the Magic Kingdom? Something that you think is pretty cheap or at least a decent value for what it is.
The sweet cheese stuffed pretzel.
Where's that?
It used to be over where they're doing the construction now for Fantasyland, but now you can get them over at Tomorrowland at the lunching pad. Anyway, you can get the pretzels there, and they're warm. Oh, they're so good. And a couple bucks.
Yeah, not bad. Scopa, what about you? What's a snack that you like in the Magic Kingdom that you think is a good value?
I think that what I like, I guess I could say Dole Whip, but that's an obvious thing. I kind of like the popcorn from the cart right in front of City Hall. I think that's it just tastes. There's something about the taste of that popcorn that just says, I'm in the Magic Kingdom. I don't know how much. I forget how much it costs, but it's one of those things where any price is a good price because it's popcorn in the Magic Kingdom. So I think that's something that I kind of lean towards.
Yeah. One thing I really like is over at in Liberty Square at Sleepy Hollow is the ice cream cookie sandwich. It's about $4, and it's this two giant chocolate chip cookies with a really healthy serving of with vanilla ice cream in the middle. And these things they're huge messes, so you got to bring like lots of napkins, and your hands are gonna be sticky. But they're really, really good. And they're made right on the spot. It's not like they were made earlier this morning. You're like, can we have, 2 ice cream sandwiches? The cast member will literally start making it right for you on the spot. And it's one of the best values out there. I really like it quite a bit. And $4 isn't bad because, again, it's a huge ice cream sandwich. So I really like it quite a bit. If you need something that's a snack but also going to carry you for a little bit, I really like that as a good choice right there.
Just don't eat it on a warm day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some other free and cheap things to do in the Magic Kingdom.
I keep thinking about this. The area that's just past the Emporium on the left, where there used to be the arcade, it's now it's a clothing store. It's a sporting clothing store, and if you look real carefully, you will find 1 or 2 of the old arcade games in there that they cost a penny or a nickel or a dime to play. I think there's a baseball game in the back of Casey's. Those are pretty cool things to seek out and play if you get a chance. They're cheap and they're fun.
Nice. That reminds me of those things. I want to call them a Viewmaster. It's not that. Those things was like what they have in the train station in the Magic Kingdom. They also have
kinescopes. Yeah, they call them kinescopes. They also have them in. They also have them at Boardwalk, I think.
Yeah,
right by the restrooms. I always look at them when I'm waiting for someone in the bathroom.
And Matt, for a little trivia, one of them, I think the one, like if you're looking, if your back is to the bathroom doors and you're facing out that window, the one on the left,
W.C. Field.
Yeah, shut up, will ya?
Yeah, that's the scene from.
That's
the exact scene that they show in the Great Movie Ride.
That's the one,
right? With the golfing.
That's correct. That's right.
Yeah.
I look at that every time. It just cracks me up. But Mike brought up a good point. Mike brought up a good point. The Tomorrowland arcade is also a lot of fun, and if you're into retro gaming, because the games aren't really up to date. They're somewhat up to date, but I would say from the late '90s on, and that's kind of fun to go in. I'll always go in there with like $5 worth on a arcade card and play some games.
Yeah,
sure. Of course, this is it starts in the Magic Kingdom, but there's lots of great boat transportation, which is free. So, if you need a little break from the parks and you're like, say, I don't want to get in the car and go drive somewhere or, take the bus somewhere. Really, what you can do is just go outside the park and right to the boat launches. You can go to, the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, Contemporary, Fort Wilderness Lodge. They're all available by boat, all free. And it's a nice little trip, even if you just do a round trip. Just sit on the boat, You never actually get off the boat. You just it's great for, especially when the weather's nice and you can just kind of relax and just, take it easy. Especially during the middle of the day, those boats are empty.
Yeah.
And they're great. They're really great options for you to go, just relax, take a little load off. And it's kind of like a fun little, way to relax, more so than you might think.
Matt, what about the trolleys and the fire engine on Main Street that run up and down Main Street from time to time?
Yeah, those are fun. Scopo, you want to talk a little bit about those?
The horseless carriages, those have been around for a long time, and they have guests riding from the train station to the castle and back. Basically, they just go back and forth. One I haven't seen in a while is, and they used to have these at Epcot too, is like the double-decker bus. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah,
that was always the fun one. But for some reason, I don't know if there's a liability issue or whatever, but I haven't seen those for guests. I've seen characters arrive on those, but I haven't seen one in a long time. So
no, they probably got rid of them. But I was actually going to add, I took a ride this a couple of years ago on the only one I think I've taken was I think it was the fire truck.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. And it's a fun thing to do. You pick it up.
Yeah.
You get on at the train or in front of the train station. Usually in the morning, I've only seen them, and then they take you up to the hub, which I think is pretty cool. It's a nice, fun thing to do. It's free also, and it's kind of cool when you kind of feel like that scene from Meet Me at the Fair with Judy Garland, that movie, when except you're not wearing antiquated clothing, but you literally everyone's rushing through to get into the park, and you're on this either on a carriage pulled by a horse or one of these vehicles, and it's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's not a thrilling ride, but it's themed with Main Street, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. One thing they used to have that I really liked, but I think it's gone now, is the Waking Up Tinkerbell in Fantasyland, and it was something they used to do in Tinkerbell's Treasure Shop, which is the store if you're facing the back of Cinderella's castle. It was on the right hand side. I think they got rid of it because the store's undergone rehab, or they just got rid of it altogether. But as far as I know, they don't do it anymore. Could be wrong. But basically, what they would do is they would have the kids would be given a sword or a wand, depending if it's a boy or a girl, and they would be given special instructions to wake up Tinkerbell. And they would wave the sword or wand, and then all these lights and sounds would pop up, and Tinkerbell, it's like, you don't actually see Tinkerbell, it's like, like lights would represent Tinkerbell and go all around the room. It was a really cool thing, and it was free. And they typically did it right at the park opening, but they would repeat it throughout the day. So certainly if you kind of buttered up the cast member, you would be able to do that. Unfortunately, I don't think they do that anymore, but if they ever bring that back, that was a really cool thing to do. And it's, especially for little girls, oh man, they just eat that up.
For little girls and Matt.
Fair enough. Any other cheap or fun things to do in the Magic cheap or free things to do in the Magic Kingdom?
Well, I think that if Len was here, he would be first and foremost to mention that when you go into the Disneyana building, you go all the way to the back. There's a area that you can take photos in these like large cutouts, and you can sit and watch very old Disney cartoons, and maybe even take a nice nap.
Yeah, that was one of the exhibition hall. That was something that I'm not sure if they got rid of it because they moved Mickey and Minnie in there because they got evicted out of Toontown. But it was actually really great because you could watch these old they would show Steamboat Willie. They would show the first Mickey Mouse color cartoon. Forgive me if I don't know the name. I'm not a huge Disneyana fan. And some other like really classic. The first episode or first time Donald Duck appears, and it's nice to see from a historical standpoint. And Mike is right. It's a great place to take a nap.
I believe the first cartoon that Donald appeared in was called Orphan's Benefit, I believe. And I know that if I'm wrong, someone will let me know.
You'll know very quickly.
I can't believe you got that wrong.
Unless someone's got something else.
The only other thing I could think of, Matt, is the sword and the stone ceremony.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I totally forgot about that. You want to kind of mention that one real quick?
Well, what that's all about is in front of the right near the carousel, there is a sword in the stone, and Merlin shows up, and he tries to find someone who will be able to lift the sword from the stone. And usually, the big fathers try, and they can't do it. And the little 5, 6, 7-year-old boys will step up, and I don't know why, I don't know how, but they seem to be able to lift that sword out of that stone. And it's a very fun thing to watch, and especially when you've got a little boy or a little girl who have a big smile on their face when they can lift that sword, and dear old dad can't.
Yeah, that's a great little thing. That actually, this is speaking to my generation more than anything. I will always think of that Sword in the Stone ceremony. I'll think of that episode of Full House where they went to they went to Disney World, and in the Magic Kingdom, Michelle pulls the Sword in the Stone, and she gets, and then of course it totally deviates from all of reality, because then she gets to be princess for the day, and it sparks a whole feud between her and Stephanie. But never mind that. It's just always reminds me of that episode. Don't know why. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, our next live show is this Sunday. That's right, this Sunday. Unless you're listening to this in 2014. Sorry, it passed. But this Sunday, February 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, will be our next WDW Today live show with special guest Deb Wills of allears.net. That's right, you can call, talk to us, but you can also talk to Deb. How cool is that? Check us out at WDWtoday.com for all the details on that. And of course, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by All-Star Vacation Homes. And hey, we're talking about great values in the Magic Kingdom, and a great value outside of the Magic Kingdom is All-Star Vacation Homes. They've got great vacation homes to try out. Vacation homes of all sizes, amenities. You can really pick the perfect vacation home for you. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I'd like a full kitchen, I'd like a movie room. I don't really need a game room, but I would definitely want a private pool. They've got that. And say, man, I don't really need the whole game room, movie room. I just want a nice private pool, and a 3-bedroom. You know what? They've got that for you. Check them out. And the best part is the price. Again, they got great amenities. You can talk all about that. But the price is what really sells this place. Check them out at www.allstarvacationhomes.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us online at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.